All right, we're going to do another problem solving problem to give you some practice and some structure and just another way of looking at formulating and setting up some of these problems. So this is the actual problem right here. Everything else is a hint, is help. So this is the problem, example 116. We need to buy some chicken for dinner tonight. We're making a big dinner maybe. You found an ad showing that the store across town has it on sale for $3.09 a pound, which is cheaper than your usual neighborhood store, which is usually $3.39 a pound. Is it worth the extra drive? So there's a lot of information that's missing, right? Like how much chicken are you going to be buying? How close is one store? How close is the other store? What kind of mileage do you get? How long is it going to take? What kind of traffic? What time of day is it? How much gas is it going to be? How much does gas cost right now, right? And essentially, right, we're comparing two things. Is it worth it? We're comparing time and money. Because if I save 50 cents, but it takes an hour, I'm not going to do it, right? So this is kind of a silly example of a problem, but there are some very good versions of it as well. And you have to answer these questions for yourself. And so this is giving you like one way of approaching this problem. These are not going to be your answers. You might not be buying 5 pounds of chicken. Okay. I actually do usually buy 5 or 6 pounds of chicken at a time, and I just freeze the chicken that I don't need. But you have to answer each of these questions yourself. So it's going to be different for every student. But this is kind of how we're going to go about doing it. So let's get going. We are going to have to answer this question. So first off, what is the question asking? The question is asking, is it worth the extra drive? So that in our problem solving strategy from the last video, going through these steps to answer the question, so is it worth the drive? And so I'm going to write in parentheses because this is kind of not a clear question, right? For me, as Jason Barnett, which might be different than for you, is it worth? What does that mean to me, and what does that mean to you? For me, it means, what's the cost, and what's the time it's going to take. Okay. So what we're going to do is, we have to identify some of these things. Step 2 was step 2 in our little process. Identify the information that we need. Okay, so we need to know how much chicken we're buying. And once we know how much chicken we're buying, we can use that to find out total cost at each store. We're also going to want to decide, we're also going to need to know like how far away is each store. And more importantly, how long to get there. Time and money are both important. So lots of things we need to figure out. So in the example, in the workbook, it wants you to calculate and take into account the price of gas. You can do that as well. If both stores are so close that the price of gas is very cheap, then maybe you don't want to. But honestly, the chicken itself is probably not going to be that different in price either. So yeah, let's cost of gas for each. So cost of gas to get to either place or both. And of course, that's going to require, how much does gas cost? So just all these things that we need to answer before we can even start formulating our solution. Okay. I guess we're assuming that we're driving. Yeah. Is it worth the extra drive? No biking. I did bike to the store. I wanted to make some cookies, but I was missing milk, Greek yogurt, and bananas. So I biked to the store. It was pouring rain. I walk into the store. It's like dripping from my rain jacket. Buying bananas, milk, and Greek yogurt. I just imagine everyone looking at me go, well, who's this weirdo? Like, oh, hi, I teach at the college. You want to learn some math? It was fun. It was a good time. I don't think I was actually dripping on the ground. Anyway, it's not relevant, Jason. So let's answer these questions. So this will be a different answer for each of you. Let's say I'm going to buy 6 pounds of chicken. Or you know what? No, I usually buy 6 pounds of chicken, but there's this sale, guys. Let's buy 12 pounds. Let's buy double the usual chicken. I'm going to make use of this sale. Again, this answer is different for you. How much chicken are you going to use in your dinner? I actually just used 1.5 pounds of chicken for my dinner last night, but it's going to be like 6 pounds at dinner. I'm off the rails today. I'm getting very distracted. So total cost at each store. Well, if it's 12 pounds of chicken, then the far store, we need to label these stores. Let's say store 1 is the close one, and that's $3.39 per pound. And let's say store 2. You could name them actually. Like maybe one is Fred Meyer's and one of them is Grocery Outlet. I don't know. That's the far store. That's going to be $3.09 a pound. So total cost at each store. So store 1, total cost is going to be 3.39 times 12. If it's $3.39 a pound and we're buying 12, that's going to be 40. Oh my word. $40.68. And at store 2, that's going to be 3.09 times 12. That's $37.08. I can tell you right now, I'm not driving across town to save $3. You know, if I'm actually got this problem in real life and I'm saying I really want to calculate this, as soon as I get to this point, I say, nope, $3.50, not worth the trip around town, but maybe $3.50 is worth it. Who knows? So let's say, all right, my Fred Meyer's is like a mile away. Oh wait, we're doing the close one first. No, that's right. Close one is 1 mile away. Maybe the far one is like 5 miles. Maybe it's in Lacey or something. All right. And I don't live in Lacey. You have to answer these yourself. Okay. Where is your close store? Where is a store that's further away? I don't know. And then, how long would it take to get there? Okay. Let's see. To get to my local store is about 5 minutes. To get to a store in Lacey, maybe 15 or 20, depends on the time of day, right? And cost of gas to get to either. So how much does gas cost? I just looked it up. I think gas at my local gas station is like $3.70. It's maybe different. Where do you get gas? You can look it up online. Did you know you can look up the price of gas at different gas stations online? Well, now you do. All right. So these are all things that you have to think about for yourself or Google or find out some other way. All right. So then cost of gas. Well, to find the cost of gas, right? We also need to know what's our car's miles per gallon in the city. Mine is about 30 miles per gallon. So what's the cost? We have to go 1 mile at 30 miles a gallon. So that's 1/30th of a gallon. 1/30th of a gallon at $3.70 per gallon This is the cost. Oh, and we have to drive there and back again. This is the cost of me driving to my close grocery store. Let's type that into a calculator. These problems can get long, as I mentioned in the homework assignment later that you probably haven't seen yet. So 1 out of 30 times 370 times 2 to get there and back to the close grocery store is 25 cents. So when I bike to the grocery store, I'm saving myself 25 cents. Oh, all right, good. Now we do the same thing with the other grocery store. So I still get 30 miles a gallon. Gas is still, wait, I still get 30 miles a gallon, but we're no longer going 1 mile, we're going 5 miles. So 5 miles, 30 miles a gallon, we're using 1/6 of a gallon each way. Multiply it by 2, it's going to be 5 times that amount, which is going to be about $1.23. Whew. If I go to Lacey, I'm going to have to pay $1.23 for gas. So now we got all this information, all the information in the world. We can now finally solve the problem. People get grumpy when the problems are super long and they have the information, but it's nice when the problem actually gives you the information that you need. For a lot of these problems, we're going to have to get the information ourselves, and that takes a while. And there's a lot of ways that you can make error. Unit conversions are everywhere in real life, but you can use a computer or a calculator to help you out. Okay. All of this class is open book, open notes, open internet. So feel free to use your resources. All right. So let's compare. Let's look at total cost. All right. So total cost, and we'll look at total time. For each store. Store 1, store 2. You can organize this information however you want. This is just how are you solving the problem, and how you approach it might be different from how I do. We could have already gone to the store and come back by now, but we're trying to figure out the cheapest way to do it. All right. So, well, there's store 1. Let's see what we got. Chicken. The chicken cost $40.68 at the first store and $37.08 at the second store. We also had to pay for gas, which was 25 cents at the first store and $1.23 at the second store. I think that's all the money that we're paying. So the total, I guess it's a little redundant. Let's just say cost and time. So the total is, just add this up. That's going to be $40.93. Cost here is going to be $38.31. What's the difference? Difference is going to be $2.62. All right. $2.62 cheaper at store 2. Yeah. Yeah. Store 2 does not have a lot going for it, guys. Lacey's sounding worse and worse all the time. Getting back from Lacey is always a nightmare for me too. And for the time, right? We wrote down that the time it takes to get there is about 5 minutes. So that's 10 minutes total. Not counting the time in the store. We can assume that's the same. And the other one is going to be 40 minutes total. So store 2 takes 30 minutes longer. So you just have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Are you willing to spend 30 minutes to save $2.62? So the answer could be either, right? It's up to you. For me, and this is buying 12 pounds of chicken, right? The more pounds of chicken, the more money you save. But I mean, maybe chicken's going to be cheaper next week. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the chicken market. You have to answer this for yourself. For me, it's not worth it. Okay. It's like the same question that you ask yourself, right? When you're thinking about you want some food, you're like, oh, do I want delivery? Do I not want it? Some you might maybe just don't have the money for it, right? If you don't have the money for it, then yeah, you do the cheaper one, and you go out to the store and get your food, depending on your own economic situation. But for me, I'm gonna say it's not worth it. Not worth it for Jason Barnett. But maybe your answer is different. So this is kind of, all of this is getting graded. Your answer is not just not worth it. The whole thing is what you need to do. The whole thing is part of the solution. And this is kind of a silly, small version of a problem. But there are some really, really good problems in this homework as well. And I tried to show my answers. Usually I just give only the answers, but I tried to show my thought process for a lot of these. And you'll check the homework answers in the when you can check your answers. I'm not speaking very clearly. Normally, when you check the answers for the answer key I provide you, I only have the final number. But this one, I tried to talk my way through, so you should be able to get more feedback and more information if you're looking for help. Also, as always, you can send me questions. So good luck. I actually really love this chapter. I hope you don't completely hate it, and maybe some of it will even be useful someday. All right, bye-bye.